Hello, I just really wanted to share a non-scale victory that happened yesterday evening. Just before I forget, I was thinking about just saving it till Monday, but just in case I forget. So yesterday evening, I went to my partner's mum's solstice party, and we had a really good time. It was really lovely. But there's always lots and lots and lots of food there, lots of drink, lots of food, and so it's always a challenging time. I did my best, and I ate some fruit before I went, and there was some potatoes there and chili, so I made sure I had some of that. I did end up having some mulled wine and some crisps and some peanuts and things like that, and a bit of pavlova and a few bits like that, but not too bad. I felt it was quite good food optimizing. I went over my sins, but I felt quite, in control in terms of my kind of good habits carried me through. But one of the big things the kids, obviously, they hadn't had that type of food in a long time, and they they were like, oh, well, have a look at this, have a look at that, and enjoying this, and having some, juice and things, and because we don't have any fruit juice at home, so having some fruit juice, and they, my daughter really wanted some of the pavlova, so she was like, I want to try some pavlova, because it was this, amazing thing, and they both had some pavlova, and they were like, this is horrible. They hated it. They hated the meringue. They hated the cream. They hated the kind of, what else was in there? It was just like, meringue and cream, and the berries. The cherry was sort of like, they weren't fresh cherries. They were kind of cherries from a can, and they were just, oh, this is horrible. And I was like, because I tried some, I was like, yeah, it tastes great, it tastes like pavlova, it's delicious, and but they didn't like it, and I thought, well, maybe it's just because it's different, something different, they don't normally have it, and I didn't really think any more of it. And then my son, they had some biscuits, and then my son was eating, it's this chocolate chip biscuit. It was like the most sort of normal chocolate chip biscuit. It wasn't sort of too obscure, and he was like, oh, it's horrible, don't like it. And I was just like, what is wrong with my children? They don't like the biscuits and the pavlova. And it wasn't until a bit later, because there's another chap there who was there, he does Slimming World. It wasn't until later that I just realised, we were just chatting, that my children's tastes changed. They don't like too much rich food. They don't like the pavlova, because it's obviously too sweet. It's too mushy in their mouth. It's too it's not a pleasant taste to them. They're not used to it. They didn't like the biscuits because it was all very rich. It was all sugary, and they're just not used to that anymore. We don't have that all day, every day, where we used to always have chocolate chip cookies or those custard creams. We would always have that. That would be in the house, whereas we don't have it in the house anymore. And it wasn't until, my brain just clicked, and I realised that, my children's tastes have changed. So that's my non-scale victory from last night. That, obviously a slight personal one, with all of that food. I didn't, because I have zero willpower. That's it. I do not exercise willpower whatsoever. It's entirely not how I do Slimming World. I can't say no to stuff. It doesn't happen. All I can possibly do is engineer my environment so that it's easier for me just to function in a normal way, kind of build up my good habits. And last night my good habits carried me through. Yes, I went over my sins, but I didn't kind of lose control, and I didn't go into binge mode, and I didn't, when we got back home, it was absolutely glorious getting home. It was very late at that point. It was I suppose at 11:30, I think, by the time we got home, and it was glorious to come back into a house with no binge food. in it. We literally, the kids had some, they said they were still hungry, so I made them some peanut butter, like slices of apple with peanut butter on the inside. And then they watched a bit of their telly, and then that was for about 10 minutes. And I had my partner's mum had given us some leftover jacket potatoes. We got that, so I just had a bit of jacket potato with a bit of salad that she'd given us as well, just like a little snack one. And then we had we had some sugar-free squash, and then we all went up to bed and had a story. And it was just that. It's fascinating, that bit, and I feel every single time those types of things happen, I feel stronger and more able, because it's sometimes the fear of going back to where I was is very strong, but every single time I put myself in those situations and it doesn't go completely awry, like today, I'll just drop straight back into plan, because it's so habitual. And I remember people saying, oh, all you do is just go back to plan, and I used to struggle getting back into it. I used to struggle kind of, okay, well, I've got to really re-engage, re-motivate myself. Whereas if it's habitual, I don't have to bother. I did literally just carry on as I was before. Like, okay, it's Saturday, so Saturday morning I have my fruit, and I'll have some, because I'm doing the full day at work. So I'll have some fruit, and I'll have some coffee. Then when I get home later, I'll have some spaghetti bolognese, and it's all very, I just do the same as you'd normally do. And so it's it's a glorious feeling to have that kind of stability and buffer zone of my own habits. But also it's a glorious thing to think that my children are now developing their taste buds back again to enjoying their fruits and vegetables, and and to feel like the food's a bit too rich. They've had enough of that. I remember, because there was so much food there, they could have eaten all of loads of different things: mince pies, crisps, peanuts, Pringles even, because my son used to very easily demolish a pack of Pringles. But they just had a few, and then they just moved on from it. And he even still had some left in his little cup, because I gave him a little disposable cup with a few Pringles in there, so he didn't just run off with a whole tube. But it was nice to know that my children's tastes have changed, and they're now thinking, because it's lovely, it's freeing to think that they're faced with a pavlova and they're like, nah, I don't like that. Okay then, I shall speak to you soon. Bye.